If you have fear of getting into a leadership role, or you're sitting here and you're thinking, well, I'm not a leader in anything that I do, I'm going to challenge that and I'm going to say you absolutely are. The way that you show up and you present yourself in the world, you are a leader.
The reason we want to implement habits is to do good things for ourselves, right? Is to be better, is to perform better. And I would argue it's not just a skill thing. It's a mental game.
Another reason we want to think about food, we want to think about prevention, we want you to think about your mental fitness, right? Not just physical fitness, but mental fitness. Right? With food, I mean, potentially, if you eat a little differently, we shifted hundreds of molecules in your diet if you go from eating processed food to more nutrient-dense traditional food.
Eating mindfully decreases anxiety and stress. It decreases markers of inflammation. People tend to have better digestion.
Our mission is to help them make the most of their earnings. Taking control of their finances will provide a greater sense of hope, confidence, and enthusiasm about their job and the money they earn.
Your plate ideally should have 50% of it covered in a fruit or vegetable or mix of both. So if that sounds like a ton, just think of that as your North Star goal.
We need to come back to a view of mental health is actually quite low tech, that the brain generally works well and it requires certain inputs and it requires us to not irritate the system, to get out of the way.
Are there other kinds of safety that come to mind? Psychological safety? Yep, so I think of psychological safety as in couple with emotional safety. And we tend to talk about psychological safety at work and emotional safety at home.
When we practice mindfulness, that paying attention on purpose, right? The intention to actually keep our attention where we want it disrupts this cycle.
Welcome to our fun cooking demo for game day favorites. This is a great meal to make ahead of time and then eat during the week if you have a busier schedule. So with that all said, let's get started. If you're cooking along with me, please preheat your oven to 350. I'm going to start with 2 eggs scrambled and a 1/3 cup of water.